Marinas and ramps are back open. Striped bass seem to be everywhere. This and the reports from our correspondents from around Long Island, all here at thefisherman.com. The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners. I finally had a use for this thing. Not sure how effective it is against the COVID-19, but seriously, thanks again to all of you who are out there working with the public and keeping our country going. Looks like we may be headed in the right direction with mitigating the virus. If we only had control over the weather. Let's check in with News 12 meteorologist Rich Von Olin.
Hey, thanks, Tim. Meteorologist Rich Von Olin here, News 12 Long Island Weather Center. Welcome back, anglers. New season, and the weather just really hasn't been cooperating too much lately. Let's check the weather maps and see what we got going on over the next few days. So water temps with the chilly air, 40s and 50s, really hasn't warmed up too much. And the wave heights on Saturday, a general 2 to 4 in the ocean, 4 to 7 offshore. It's okay. It's going to get better throughout the midday afternoon. Again, best time Saturday, best window, mid to late morning, mid-afternoon, because Sunday you get a storm that comes right back, 4 to 7 feet in the ocean, and it gets kind of rough and windy with an easterly breeze. So, again, Futurecast, there's Saturday, starts out gusty early, drops out a little bit, midday afternoon. It's not a perfect day. And then, southeast easterly breeze, big storm coming in for Sunday. It's just going to be kind of a mess here, so we just can't seem to get a break. Here's the high tides, North Shore, South Shore. Again, looks like midday North Shore, mid-morning on the South Shore for Saturday and into Sunday. So, again, not the best weekend, but make the best of it. Keep your social distance. Be very safe. Tim, back to you.
Before heading out on the water, be sure to check out News 12 for the latest weather forecast. Just a reminder, the weekly edition is out now, and it can be viewed digitally at thefisherman.com with a subscription. Click on the card in the top right if you need a hand on how to access it. I will leave a link in the description as well. Let's start off first with senior editor Fred Galafaro.
Yeah, Tim, boy, this wind just doesn't want to let up. It seems every day, cold nights, a lot of wind, and not good for fishing for the most part. But there is some good news with the executive order put out by the governor on the weekend, covering actually the tri-state area, including Connecticut and New Jersey. But it opened up marinas and launch ramps, and that's really big news, allowing people to get their boats back into the water. I know a lot of people were frustrated, especially like local marinas, where even if they had boats in the water, they couldn't get to them. And those that wanted to get them in the water couldn't do that. So a big step forward. But I can't stress enough how important it is to follow CDC guidelines, social distancing. The word is already out. If things get too crazy at marinas or launch ramps and there's crowding, people are abusing the social distancing laws, we're going to lose that access. So let's all be smart about it. You don't want to lose access now. We've got fluke season coming up. A lot of things going to be happening. There's a lot of school bass around. There'll be plenty of porgies in May. You still have another week or so of black fishing to get in before the end of the month, before the April season closes. And hopefully we get a good spring run of weak fish. So let's, again, all be smart. And, don't be afraid to tell another boater or fisherman, to remind them of social distancing and proper behavior. A couple of tips, as far as around the marinas and especially launching your boat. Don't linger around. Wait when you pull up to a ramp. Wait until, if there's somebody on the ramp already, wait until they're done before you go out. Wait in your car. Don't hang around the parking lot of the ramp. Have everything ready to go. Have your boat loaded, ready to go, so you're not unloading your vehicle into the boat, taking up more time at the ramp. And the same goes for when you're hauling out. Wait until, if there's somebody in the ramp, wait until they pull out and then pull in and get your boat out of there as quickly as possible and get out of the way. Hopefully, at least at like some of the town marinas and ramps, there'll be security, and I would think, they might be helping direct traffic and, letting people go one at a time, something like that, to avoid any crowding. You don't want to be on the same launch ramp dock as somebody else getting in or out of their boat. So keep all that clear. Face masks definitely required around those areas. The gaiters that you wear for sun protection, if you don't have a mask or if you feel are uncomfortable, especially if you're going to be wearing it all day around the dock marina, those gaiters are great, and it also gives you the sun protection. You can cover up right up to the top of your nose, no problem. This also goes for fishing piers, docks, and beaches. Same deal. If it gets abused and people are clustering together, they're going to shut them down. So again, keep your space. If a guy's catching fish, as tempting as it is to get close to him, don't do it. Okay, just be happy that you're out there able to fish. Fishing news. Yes, there is some, despite the weather conditions. School bass again, pretty much all over the place. Wherever it's fishable, again, with all the wind we've been having, there are fish along the ocean front, down the South Shore. Not hearing too much on the open sound beaches, but the ocean beaches, when it's fishable, still hearing fish there. Most of the action, though, is in the bays, back inside South Shore bays and East End bays, North Shore harbors and bays, hearing the fish coming from all those areas. A lot of it has been on soft plastics. Some of the stuff, especially towards dark in the evenings, on swimming plugs. Again, if you're using swimming plugs, swap out the trebles for single hooks, and at the very least, make sure the barbs are crushed so you can release fish easily. Most of them are shorts, and I am starting to hear about some fish being caught on poppers, especially in the bays. Again, most of the fish are shorts, but also this past week I did hear of an uptick in fish in that 28 to 35 inch slot, so keep that in mind. Blackfish, no boat reports. Again, the weather's been terrible, but still hearing shore catches being made inside the bays, South Shore bays, inlet jetties, some off the North Fork beaches when the wind's not blowing a gale out of the northwest and northeast, and definitely hearing that worms are by far the best bait so far. Fluke, season doesn't open until May 4th. But this already fluke around. I know John Paduano had a 20-incher along with 2 dozen stripers in the Shinnecock Canal one day in the middle of last week using small marabou jigs. He also had the first hook and line sea robin that I heard about last week. And I think we're in for a really good fluke season, or at least the opening May. Commercial fishermen there's been very, very little effort because of the reduced market. So a lot of fluke that are moving inshore this time of the year are going to be able to get into the bays, and could be a very good May for fluke. Weakfish, still basically hearing rumors. Haven't seen one yet. I've tried locally. I think if we need a few more degrees in water temperature, and these cold nights aren't helping. We had a really good start to the spring. March was very mild, but water temperatures actually dropped the last couple of weeks in the bays. So hopefully get a few more degrees. We'll start hearing some weakfish, and we can be looking at a very good May. Let's see. Tim, back to you.
From Shinnecock, we have Mike Dean.
Thanks, Tim. How you doing, everyone? I got my social distancing made here. Let's see. Yep, that's good. Really great to see everyone doing the social distancing. Spots seem to be spread out a little bit thinner. Obviously, the weather wasn't really that great either to get out fishing, but plenty of people around, and we just don't want to lose any access, so if we could keep that up. Awesome news to hear the marinas are open. True bummer that the charter captains, fly guides, light tackle guides, head boats are still going to be kind of shut down until there's, kind of better numbers, better predicament to be able to get out. You got to realize these are people that really hustle to make fishing memories for all of us. It's our time to support them. Book a trip for after this. You can figure out the date later on, put a deposit down, and let's help out all those people that have given us so many unbelievable fishing memories. On to the actual fishing. Still back bay action, small stripers taking soft plastics, storm shads, SP minnows. At night, a little bit bigger plugs are getting a little bit bigger fish. Try to concentrate on, as a few guys have said, the warm water highways in the bays that the bass are going to be taking. Also, any creeks that are coming off of like a main canal and marshy areas where the water is going to be warmer. Slow down the retrieve. You know, these are not aggressive fish. They're awesome to catch, but they're not very aggressive in terms of going after lures. So try to keep that in mind. A little too late to get into this week's report, but starting next week, we're going to have Tim O'Rourke of Montauk Point Fly Fishing is going to be joining us. He gave me a report that he's also been getting a lot of schoolies out there. He's had some good luck with mag darters and some soft plastics, both in the bays, been in the ocean as well. Fish seem to be coming in waves for every couple of days. Then it'll be a skunk for a few days. But he's had some great spring action there. Look forward to his reports as the season progresses. So I'm going to try to grab a few catches before the sun goes down. Stay safe, stay sane. Thank you to all the health workers and frontline workers. It's just unbelievable what you're doing for all of us. Appreciate it. Get out there, catch them up. Back to you, Tim.
Kirk Fay was out a few nights ago and had success with the schoolies under the Robert Moses Bridge. He said that all the fish were caught on pearl-colored 6-inch swim shads. He released about 20 before heading back to the dock. Jeffrey Hopkins had some schoolies at the mouth of the Connecticut River. He caught these little guys on the way to Stop and Shop. Now let's check in with Captain Al Lorenzetti from the Great South Bay and the Fire Island area.
Hey Tim, the Fire Island report. Things are still pretty much status quo as it has been. There's a bunch of small striped bass around. I mean, pretty much everywhere. They're catching them in the surf. They're catching them up in the back bay areas. So I expect that to continue. I expect to see a weak fish or two here coming up in the next week. And there's still some flounder around to be caught, and they should be starting to move now. So I think this coming month of May is going to be better for flounder than April was. April's been some tough weather, and this weekend looks a little bit tough again. So that's about it for this week. Hope everybody gets out there and catches something and stays safe and healthy.
The governor's executive order has allowed marinas to reopen, and Kales Family Boating Center is ready to get you out on the water. There is no better place to practice social distancing when with the family enjoying the outdoors. Check out a Sea Pro powered by Suzuki. Low rates make it the perfect time to buy. Visit kalesfamilyboating.com for more information. Now let's check in with Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Well, here we are. It's there. It's starting to change. The weather is starting to blow. This is Tuesday. It's getting pretty wild out here. I expect there are torrential downpours. I expect that to blow out the rivers. Most of the streams on Long Island will be all right. They'll clear up in a day or two, so they should be okay. The ponds will get a little muddy, but there'll be there fish to be had, and hopefully we'll do it. Now, for the good news, congratulations to Captain Dave Flanagan and his wife. They just had a baby girl. Congratulations to them. And another good thing is Tim O'Rourke, Captain Tim O'Rourke from Montauk, he just called in to tell me about the stripers are there, and even with social distancing, he's getting out there and having some action. So he says it's not all bad. So hopefully we're going to be doing very well. I don't know. It's going to be changing pretty fast. Too bad. Yesterday was great. Tomorrow is supposed to be cold. So this is April, but people. So let's get out there where we can. Don't forget, if you need anything, call me. I have curbside delivery. I also do mail order. And Tight Lights, everybody, we're going to get through this together.
Joseph Ben-Savenga fished Jamaica Bay early Sunday morning from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. He caught 4 bass to 13 pounds. All were on an SP minnow on the top of the tide. He mentioned that the bay was flooded with adult bunker and small rain bait, and the bass were stuffed like footballs. From Jamaica Bay, we have Luke Feeny.
Thank you, Tim. Hey folks, I hope everybody and their families are staying safe and healthy during these crazy times. There is some good news during this time, and that is that fishing does not require you to get within 6 feet of anybody else, which is great because it means that you can still get out, and the fishing has been really excellent. The bass bite has been red hot in Raritan Bay, anywhere from the West Bank Lighthouse, all the way to the back in the Keyport Flats. The key is to look for that bird life and the bait anywhere throughout those areas, as the holes and drop-offs have been really excellent. Trolling Mojos has worked great along with deep diving swimming plugs, and for you casting guys, the Maha 2 to 3 ounce casting Mojos have worked great, along with any other shads or swim baits as well. The blackfish bite has been red hot, and I've been using Asian crabs and fishing very close to the Marine Park Bridge on either side of those main stanchions. The Asians are easy to gather down in any rocky shoreline, just go down at low tide, and they make for a great bait. Lastly, the flounder bite has been solid on the mussel beds around the roundhouse, as well on the edge of Plum Beach Channel, and on the Plum Beach Flats on those mussel beds and on rocky bottoms, fishing with mussels, which is great news as we haven't seen the flounder in the past few years around here. The key is small hooks, fresh mussels, and a nice light rod, and the flounder make great table fare. A chum pot on the bottom filled with the shells of the open mussels is a great advantage. That's it for this week. Until next week, stay safe and tight lines.
Michael Parisi was upstate in Roscoe with his family last weekend and took his daughters Gianna and Juliana trout fishing. They had brown trout and rainbows using rainbow-colored topwater crankbaits. Families fishing and enjoying the outdoors is one of the silver linings during these trying times. Let's check in with Mike Sentry from Staten Island.
The bite has not been spectacular. It wasn't like a month ago in early March where you just dropped a jig and then you were pretty much getting them one after another. The bass are tending to spawn, particularly in this time of year. So there's a nice video also, guys. My friend Chuck Tillman sent me. It's called Striped Bass Spawn 2020. I believe it was in the Chesapeake or the Delaware Bay, up the rivers, of course freshwater rivers. The bass are pretty much swimming right on the surface, and you see the male interlocking with the female. It's a pretty cool video of the bass, how they breed, how they spawn. So check it out on YouTube. For this week's report, Saturday is looking to be the day to go out. The winds will be around 7 miles an hour. Hopefully that stays right now. Right now we're looking at winds around 25 to 30 miles an hour. And it's not the right conditions. It's pretty hard to get out there. So during this time, I will say sharpen your hooks, get your gear in order because bluefish are in town. Yes, bluefish, big ones too. So guys, tight lines. Mike Sentry here. God bless. Take care. Adios.
Raul Ortiz, the urban angler, fished at least a rod's length away from his buddy on the opening of striped bass. They had a bunch of fish from 20 to 30 inches and kept one slot fish for the family. Guess who's back? Hawaiian Dan.
Thanks, Tim. All right, everybody, I've really missed you. It's been a long winter, so say it with me. Aloha! I'm Hawaiian Dan of TalkFishTV.com, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please jump over there and do so. I'm reporting for the Fisherman magazine this week in my stomping grounds, the central North Shore of Long Island, the nearshore region where the stripers are in town. If you know what you're doing and know what to look for, you're definitely going to put yourself on them. The key for this time of year is to match the hatch. As always, contact your local bait and tackle shop. For me, my personal hookup is Miller Place Bait and Tackle, and they're doing curbside service. You can see from the video clips that I have no problem finding and catching bass both during the day and at night. So remember to get off those couches, grab those rods, and get out there and fish. Please practice your social distancing. Until next week, I love you, Strong Island. Remember to keep spreading that aloha. Make somebody smile if you can, and you too can choose to live the island life. Now back to you, Tim. Aloha.
Kenny Cannon has checked in with this report.
Thanks, Tim. A lot of small bass in the Ashrogan, Eaton's Neck, and Northport area, stretching all the way out to Centerport and also in Huntington Harbor as well. Most of the fish have been taken on small Kitech swim baits. Mainly white has been the color that I've been using. I've also caught a couple on tsunami sand eels as well. As far as the tide and time go, it's kind of hit or miss. Mainly in the evening is when I've been catching them the most. Southwest wind has been better for me. There was one night where I had probably about 20 fish in about an hour and a half or so. And then the night before that, I had 3. And then the night after that, I had none. So it's kind of hit or miss. But if you put your time in, you go down there for an hour or two every single night or whenever you can, you're definitely going to pick up some here and there. The other good news, too, from the beachfront is that the marinas here in the town of Huntington are open. I saw some of the gates open yesterday, and I saw more gates open today. So it is slow, but it is happening. And the other good news, too, is that fishermen are actually doing the social distancing thing, which is really cool to see when you're out there. And, you're used to being shoulder to shoulder with people on the beach, but people are respecting that distance, and that's really good because it allows us to get out there safely and not have to worry about too much. So keep up with that, and we'll have our beaches all summer long throughout the whole fishing season, and we'll all stay healthy, happy, and safe. All right, guys, that's all for this week. We'll talk to you next week. Back to you, Tim.
The Fisherman is now on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. So now you can watch this broadcast and our other content on the big screen. Just search for the Fisherman TV on any of those devices. A quick note that because the tackle shops are not fully open to the public yet, the start of the Dreamboat contest has been delayed. Once they are allowed to reopen and weigh in fish, the competition will begin. If you'd like to be part of our weekly video fishing forecast, we're looking for social media savvy anglers for hyperlocal reporting from around the New York Metro and Long Island area, especially from Montauk and the North Fork. So if you're a captain, a tackle shop, or just an avid angler, contact me at libayrat@gmail.com. Remember, like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And of course, be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the Dreamboat and Kayak Clash contest. Check out this video's description on YouTube for all the related links and more information. And please support our correspondents by visiting their websites and social media pages. Keep up the social distancing while fishing and take advantage of the situation to explore and find your own hotspot. See you next week right here at thefisherman.com.